Thanks for joining me today on my YouTube channel. This is Serena here, and today we are doing the last page that I have of the Daniel Smith 266 dot card. Or is it 288? I forgot. 266. Okay, we are going to work on page 4. I did page 5 originally because it had gouache and I wanted to do that one first. So we're kind of out of order, but we're doing page 4. This is the last one you'll have to sit through with me and watch me do. So let's go ahead. I'm using the Fabriano 100% cotton cold press paper again, and I have already set aside a grid with swatch names on it. So I'll go ahead and tighten up on this view so that you can see what I'm doing, and we'll wet some of the dots here and we'll get going. It is a couple days after July 4th and it is extremely hot and I am sweating like crazy. It's very humid, so we'll see how this works. I don't know if we're going to get good results out of this, but we're going to try. Okay, I've got another paper here to absorb some of the humidity on my hand so I don't get it all over. But here's quinacridone gold. Start with that. Quinacridone gold is like everybody's favorite. Who doesn't like quinacridone gold? Look at that. And I think this is the color that they said was going to be discontinued. But they bought up like 15 years worth. So they're not going to run out anytime soon. So don't go making a mad dash and to the internet to try to buy up the last few bottles, tubes. All right, raw umber violet. I don't know why they're discontinuing it though. That's the thing. I think they can't get the components or something. Raw umber violet. Now, why are we putting a raw umber violet right next to quinacridone gold? I don't know. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me. But there is a lot of violet in there. A little hint of violet brown. All right, we have transparent brown oxide. Very nice color. See how it's turning lighter as I go across the page. I'm trying to gradate these so you see the range. That's a nice one. Transparent red oxide. Let me hit the right dot, because if I hit the wrong dot, I'll be doing this, swatching the same one over and over again. All right, move this down a little bit. Today we're getting a little bit of that unsettled weather where you've got high humidity and the clouds are rolling by, and you can have beautiful fluffy light clouds with blue sky 1 minute, and the next minute you've got these dark, ominous clouds that are ready to break loose. So we might get changes in the lighting here. This one is our fired gold ochre. That even sounds exciting. Fired ochre. Fired gold ochre. Boy, it's very, I'm doing it 3 times here, and it just does not want to give me a very dense color. It's very pale. I got all excited from the name, but kind of is not adding up to what I thought it would do. Okay, burnt sienna light is the next one. It's all right. All the colors can't be spectacular, otherwise you wouldn't have such a range. Burnt sienna light almost looks like, isn't that beautiful? My goodness. It looks, to quote quinacridone gold, what am I trying to say? It's like a brownish quinacridone gold. That's what I mean. That is a beautiful color, isn't it? I want to make sure you can see all of it. I've got it all in frame. Now, this is EV brown iron oxide. It's enviro-friendly brown iron oxide. Apparently, brown iron oxide can be very damaging to the environment or your health, or one or both. So this is, I guess, created chemically then instead. I don't know for sure. I'm just saying. There must be a reason they call it enviro-friendly. If you want to know, you can go on their website. I'm sure they've got tons of info as to why it is. Or maybe some of you are more knowledgeable than I am. I'm sure you are. And you may leave it in the comments if you know why iron oxide is so bad for us. Of course, the mining process is never good, so that in itself might be the reason. But I'm sure it's on the website. English, that was burnt sienna. See, I like the burnt sienna light. It almost has that quinacridone intense look to it. But burnt sienna is nice too. This is English red ochre. Looking at these paints now, I see why people like them. I see why they're like the top dog. But I would have the hardest time figuring out what colors I would want in my palette to set up a palette, because these are all so beautiful. Okay, burnt umber. This is just your basic burnt umber. Let's see what it looks like though. Very nice. Trying to get like a nice transition. See, now that's what I'm really looking to do instead of the really choppy ones I've gotten. Here's an enviro-friendly one again. This is yellow iron oxide. Looks very dark on the page, like brown. This is yellow. That's what it says. Maybe when I water it down quite a bit, it will look... No, not really. I'm not quite sure why it is yellow. But that's what they're calling it. And then we've got raw umber. That is not very concentrated, and it should be, because that's usually a very dark brown. Raw umber is always very helpful in landscapes. Kind of like a cheat color. Yeah, you can cheat and buy the tube. It's easy to do. You could mix it yourself, but I don't know. It's nice to have it right there in the tube, squeeze it out, and then you go from there and mix it a little bit. Here comes sepia. Wow. That is a dark color. That is almost black. And look, it looks like it's granulating too. Beautiful color, nice qualities there. Cyclorite genuine. What is this? I have never heard of that. Cyclorite. All right, let's see if we can get that a little darker at the beginning. That's kind of got a little bit of like a mossy green color to it, doesn't it? A little bit. Very granulating. There we go. Van Dyke brown. Very common color. Look at how dark that is. My goodness. It's even darker than the sepia. Well, that's almost black. Oh, I'm trying to make a, you know what I'm trying to make? A nice transition. Hopefully that will seep in there a little bit. Ah, it's seeping the other way. Oh well, it's okay. I'm getting the idea. Bloodstone genuine. All right, let's see what color this is. Woohoo. Wow, that is dark. Almost think with some of these you'd only need one of them. You know, pick your favorite one, and that's the one you put in your palette. Lunar Violet. That has a very intriguing name. Let's see what it is. little bit of a, almost a little bit of a, kind of like a Payne's Gray but violet. It's not a very deep violet. It's not a very strong violet. You would have to tell me it's violet. Now, look what happened on the dot card with this one. I gotta show you this. This is funny. Look at this. Now, what color is that? If you can read it, good for you. Finally figured out it was neutral tint, but they smushed the paint right on the name. So, yay, Daniel Smith. I'm sure it happens. It's not a big disaster. I just find it funny. Because, you know, these things are a pretty penny. You pay a pretty penny for these. But this is really the only way to know what these colors look like. Okay, I'm going to change the view a little bit, move these up for the next 3, and add dots, and we'll be right back. All right, now I've wet the next 3 rows of the dot cards, and I changed my water, even though it wasn't very dirty, because we're coming up on a color that I want to do first. It's the Chinese white, and I don't know how much we're going to see on white, but I don't want to muddy it up with all the other colors first. Of course, you can hardly see that, but I didn't want to muddy it up with the other colors first and then do that afterwards. So that is the pure Chinese white. Now we'll backtrack and do the graphite gray. This is going to be hard because I can't put my hand there. Oh boy. All right. That was a good idea in a way, but in a way not. So let's see if we can still be neat and do this. We'll see. Graphite gray. Okay, I don't want to get that too wet, but I want to pull some of that over here so we get the range there. Okay, now we have a whole section of like Jane's gray and Joseph's Z's neutral and all kinds of weird things. I don't know. Jane's gray. I don't know who Jane is, but this is her gray. I know I'm going to forget that Chinese white is there and just like my finger right on it. Okay, Payne's gray, Payne's blue gray. All right, let's see how this looks. I use the Schmincke's Payne's gray, and it's a very, very beautiful color. It's very, very blue, and I kind of like that. It's very dark, but it's blue. It's like a nice moody color. This is quite nice too, but it has a little bit more gray to it, whereas the Schmincke has a little bit more blue to their Payne's gray. Here is the straight Payne's gray, and I'll tell you, this to me is like brush colors. I almost wish there was a standardization. Brush sizes, because you know, brush sizes, one company has a number 6 that looks like this, another company has a number 6 that looks like that, and they're totally different, so you never know what sizes you're ordering when you order a brush. It's kind of tricky. The same with the Payne's gray. I was very disappointed. Here's Alvaro's Caliente gray. That caliente means hot in Spanish. If I remember my high school Spanish, haha. See, Mr. Ambrose, I was paying attention. All right, and let's see. What I was saying about the Payne's gray, though, and standardizations, I wish it was standard. Whereas a Payne's gray in one company's formula would look like a Payne's gray in another company's formula, because this guessing game of, you know, what is it going to look like can be annoying. Before I ordered the big set of Neocolor 2s, I wanted to try a few. So I bought a Payne's Gray open stock. And to my disappointment, it wasn't anything like the Schmenka's Payne's Gray with a bluish tint to it. It was gray. And very fun to play with. It gave me an idea of what the crayons were, that, you know, if they changed or not over the years, because I had an old set and I didn't know if the quality was still there, or if it, you know, like sometimes you have an old set and they fade. You know, the wax gets old, it doesn't have the same qualities, or it dries out. So I wanted to get at least one to see what it was like. Okay, so that was Alvaro's Fresco Gray. We're going to Joseph Z's Warm Gray. Oh, I put too much water on this one. I know that. But this is a warm gray, so let's see as we get further into a wet. See, I should know the basics of this because, and I do know the basics of it, is that if you have more water there and less water here, that will flow into this. And that's what I want, not the backflow I've been getting before, because I'm not paying attention. Okay, Joseph Z's Neutral Gray. Let's see if we can tell the difference here. That does not have a lot of water on it at all. Let's see. Now we have quite a bit of water. Oh dear. But that's the trick in watercolor, isn't it? Getting the right amount of water. Okay. Joseph Z's Cool Gray. First you have a warm gray, you've got to have a cool gray. Here is the cool gray. And I know I'm going to go right in that Chinese white because I forgot all about it. And I'm right next to it. Now that looks like it has a bluish tone to it. Does it not? Let's see. Yes, it does, kind of. Which, you know, it's cool gray. Would have some kind of color to make it cool. A Kraken Black. I wonder if that goes darker. Let's get the light part of it first, and then we'll see if we can make that. Wow, that is fading out there. Let's see if we can get that a little darker at the beginning. You might be able to. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to go over the whole thing and ruin it. Dear. Let's leave it at that. Black. Now this says red-green in parentheses. Let's see what surprise we get here. Well, I'm not seeing anything too amazing. Red-green, it's, you know, probably mixed with red-green or made with red-green. All right, there's that. Now we have black, in parentheses blue-orange. Another mystery. Well, oh, I don't want to have too much of that on there. And I do. There we go. Okay, there's that. Now we have got ivory black. Can't imagine what that's going to look like. Isn't that funny? It's kind of a misnomer. Ivory black. It's like two opposites. I've never seen black ivory. Lamp black is our next one. I don't know quite about you, but I can't get too excited about the blacks. I suppose you need a black in your palette just to kind of erase out any light. If you have like a night scene and you want to go from like a really deep blue to completely where you can't see anything on the page. So I would see some application there. Here's a lunar black. Whoa, that is, I can't see anything on that one. So that is very opaque. So if you're looking for something more opaque, that's your man. I can see I'm going to have to change this water after this section here, because the next ones are like the pearlescence and the interference colors. So we'll have some, after the dull blacks, we'll have some interesting things coming up, I promise. Okay, black tourmaline genuine. Tourmaline genuine. Let's see. There we go. Have a warm black color. Gray titanium. This one looks almost silvery. Gray titanium. Wow, that does look silvery. I wonder if it is. We'll have to tip it over, and when we're done, when these dry, and see what kind of effect we're getting from this. Okay. I hope you're also enjoying the little incidental bird songs that you hear, and the leaves, the aspen leaves crinkling and doing that outside the window. All right, next section I will wet and we will get back to it. All right, so it was a good thing I changed my water as well, because we have another white. This one is titanium white, and we're not going to see much of anything here, so I mean, it's just white. I'm just getting it on the page to have it on the page and to say I did it. Okay, now we're getting into the duochromes. Okay, everything in the next two lines are in their duochrome line. If you like these, it looks like, unfortunately, they're only available in 15 milliliter. So you can't really test them out. Get a little one for, you know, a few little effects once in a while. You've got to get the big tube. Don't know why they do that. Probably to make more money. I don't know. That is duochrome green pearl. Here is duochrome oceanic. I would like to know if you use any of these, what you use these for. What is the main draw with these duochrome colors? Because they seem like they would be very specific. Like you wouldn't use them a whole lot. Duochrome blue pearl. They're very pretty colors. But I'm just wondering, practical application wise, especially with the cost. When you look at the cost of this line of paints, I mean, these are the high-end line. Daniel Smith, what applications would you use these for? I mean, it almost seems really expensive to use for any type of mixed media, but I can't also see it being used like for a, I don't know, maybe for a floral where you have an odd effect of iridescence on a flower. That I could see that perhaps. But to buy a 15 milliliter tube, I don't know. I really would like to know. I'm not making fun of anybody for using it. I don't begrudge you using it, but I'd like to, you know, geez, enlighten me. I'd just like to know what would be a good application for these. They are very pretty. There's no doubt about it. And I'm sure it made a sensation, just like, you know, granulating colors when they became all the thing a couple years ago. And I had a very loud recreational vehicle going by there, so I kind of took a second to back up a little. Here's Duochrome Aquamarine. Isn't that a beautiful color though? Look at that. Kind of has the hint. I know these are shimmery, so that's what's nice about them. Duochrome Emerald is our next one here. That's also a beautiful one. If you like the blue and you like green, this is your next favorite color here. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. Duochrome Desert Bronze. Now this one looks interesting. It's almost got like a greenish, like sandy color with greenish in it. We're going to look at that a little closer when we get a close look at the swatches at the end here. But my goodness, I don't know if there's really much point in fading them out to pure water. I kind of think that the whole point of these is that you use the Duochrome almost as is without thinning it out very much. Okay, Duochrome Saguaro Green. Reminiscent of the saguaro cactus. I actually seeded some cactus seeds about 4 or 5 years ago, and I got, out of the whole mixed group, I got one saguaro, and it is actually sending out, it was one single stem, it's sending out a little thumb this year. I'm so proud of it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it when it gets to be like feet tall, if it does. Have to find a different space for it, that's for sure. It's on the kitchen windowsill now. And my husband complains about it because when he opens and shuts the window, it's a crank window, when he opens and shuts it, it gets prickled sometimes by the needles, the cactus needles. Okay, Duochrome Adobe. And this is Duochrome Autumn Mystery. So it's got a little bit of a fall feel to it. Yeah, it does. I could say that. Almost like a coppery color. And now we are getting into the last two. I do have to wet them. All right, the last row. Here we go. The last row. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Similar to when I had the Chinese white, I don't want to contaminate everything with all these dark purples, so we're going to skip to Duochrome Tropic Sunrise, which is not, wow, which is not wanting to dissolve very easily. But let me make sure I put it in the right spot. Wow, it did not want to dissolve very much. It's got slight yellow tinge to it, but not much. Yellow tint, I should say. Well, we'll put it on anyway, see what happens. It might be mostly shine. Okay, here's Duochrome Lapis Sunlight. Okay. I think I got a little blue in there by accident. Didn't mean to do that. Some of the pages stuck together, and I think these stuck to the blue ones. They didn't put a divider sheet in the package. I can't believe that. I was really surprised about that. Okay, I'm going down now to the second row here, so I am skipping around a little bit, but we'll come back to the purples. Although this says Duochrome Violet Fantasy, and again, it's got to be that the sparkles in there, the sheen, is a violet hint to it. Okay, this is Duochrome Arctic Fire. This almost is kind of a, not really a letdown, but we're not going out with a bang, I'll say that on these. Interference Blue, but I shouldn't speak too soon because when I tilt these and show you the shine. Perhaps that will make up for my blasé opinion here. Okay, let's see. This is interference copper. This is a very light color, but kind of nice. Again, you can see it on the brush more than you can see it on the paper. But let's not judge. Let's wait till the end. Interference gold is our next one. This one is also not wanting to dissolve. So a lesson for anybody looking for the interference colors, maybe you don't want to put these in your palette, but you'd rather carry the tube if you're going out and about and you need to carry one with you. Maybe better to squeeze it out fresh and then use it that way. Okay, interference green. Again, it's got a light, light, light hint of green. I can see it on the brush, but not on the paper. I'm seeing pretty much what you're seeing, so don't feel bad. Don't feel like, oh wow, she's seeing all the good stuff and we can't see anything. All right, so we did that. Now we have the 4 colors here that I did not do. So let's go back and we'll do the duochrome cactus flower. Kind of a muddy looking color. It does look mauve. It looks a little mauve on the page. This one's a little brighter. Here's duochrome hibiscus. That's a very nice looking color. You can see on the brush it even looks nice. Oh, and you can see it here too. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, let's see what else we have. Duochrome violet pearl is the next one. And that is nice. Look at how that kind of fades out. You can still see even the littlest bit, even when you wet it. And here, now here is duochrome mauve. And here come the noisy people on their vehicles. That's what I put up with living in this area. It's just one of those areas that draws a lot of these vehicles. And there's your duochrome mauve. I wonder if I can get this a little bit more concentrated at the beginning. Oh, there we go. A little bit, not much. Not much there. But there you go. There are the 288 colors of Daniel Smith. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will go ahead and show you a close-up. Now that we've done all of them, let's get up here and get a close-up so you can see which ones you might like. This is the part I like when people do swatching, so I can really see the colors and the color names and kind of decide, what do I like? Okay, I just want to get them all on the page there. Now these are the duochromes. I'm just going to kind of go over these like this, and then I'm going to tip them a little bit to see if they give us any. Oh, that is the end of the page. Okay, so let's see if we're getting any of the interference on there. You can kind of see it shining a little bit, and of course the clouds are going in and out, and that's really not helping me. I can see that one, the duochrome green pearl. That one is pretty intense. Let's see these. Just going to keep tilting it a little bit so you can see if they make any kind of difference. All right. Little bit, little bit, little bit. Yeah, oh, I can see it there. When I tilt it like that, I can see that duochrome lapis sunlight So they do have, you know, an effect to them. But again, I want someone to tell me what the big deal is about them. They're pretty, but I couldn't, that's out of my budget for mixed media. I just couldn't do it. But a professional, maybe doing some florals, I would say maybe would be an application for that. Well, I hope you enjoyed this today, and I hope you enjoyed this whole series. It's been a long series for me, 5 videos worth. I'm glad I only did 1 page at a time, because even for me it's a lot. But I hope this gives you an idea of what the true colors are. And that was my point in doing this. It was my point in buying these dot cards, is to see if there are any colors that I really, really would like to have. And I know I've seen a couple that kind of tempted me, and I may wind up down the line, you know, taking them off my wish list and putting them on in my shopping cart, but we'll see. In the meantime, thank you for joining me. It does help when you subscribe and you hit that like button. Give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Thank you for staying with me this long, and I hope you have a great creative day.